Yo, what's up, team? Hope you guys are doing well. I've got my scaling up book open right now. Close it up, put it back on the shelf. All right, we're rolling today, baby. Happy Wednesday. Well, agency therapy day. It always feels good to be back in the studio. If you guys are in the chat, let me know. Love to know that you guys are here. What's new? What's new in the life? Drop something in the chat for me. Make a little rowdy noise. Something. Give me some life. Give me some energy. That's what I need right now. We're chatting today a little bit on churn. Okay. Churn and increasing revenue. Those are the two main topics. Okay. And they go hand in hand. And something that I talk about a decent amount, but I feel like we still need to talk a little bit more on it because we just need to beat the dead horse a little bit here. Okay. Rowdy Ranger. That's me, baby, all day. Okay. Nothing super prepared today as far as like normally I bring visuals, so we're gonna do it kind of live today. Okay, we're literally gonna write it out. Okay, but let me know that you guys are here. Would love to interact with you guys. If you have questions, as usual, please feel free to jump in, ask questions. I can even bring you guys up here if you want to participate. We can talk a little bit more in depth. So get those questions brewing now so we can answer them towards the end of the training. Okay. So hop in, okay, participate. That's what makes agency therapy fun is participation. Okay. And it gets me amped and I will put on a better stream if you guys are around and active. Okay. Okay, so let's kind of jump in. Okay. So oftentimes inside of agencies, this is what we kind of see. And I want to lay this out for you guys. I'm going to bring up the stream board. You guys are probably familiar with the agency therapy stream board, but let me bring it up. Okay. If you guys aren't familiar, and there's a lot of trainings in here that you guys can get for free 99. Okay. So hop in. Like if you want to learn more about lead generation, how to get your first couple of clients, man, LinkedIn, one of our clients just landed a public company through LinkedIn cold DMs, a public company through cold LinkedIn DMs. Pretty wild. So this strategy does work, but you got to give it time. You got to let it mature. You got to try it a bunch. Okay. Took them about 3 months to get optimized completely, but it does work. Okay. And you can land big clients from it. So if you guys want to learn more about lead gen, you can go over there. If you want to learn about onboarding clients in ClickUp, holy, look at this whole thing right here. You guys can learn about that. So there's a bunch of goodness inside of here. And it's here for you for free. All you have to do is jump in and look at it and watch and learn. Okay. So it's there for you if you want to participate here. I'll even drop you the link in the chat. That way it's nice and easy for you guys to access. Okay. Boom. There you go. Free 99, baby. Okay. All right. Let's go down in the corner today. This is what I call a little corner therapy session today. It's going to be a little bit different than usual. Okay. So we're just going to go in the darkest corner of the Miro board here because I got to share some secrets with you. Okay. Got to share some secrets. Okay. Now, you guys, the agency growth path can sometimes look like this. Okay. Wow, that's way too small of a line. Let me bring it up just a little bit for you. We're going to zoom in even more. That way this line will actually make sense. Okay. Sometimes agency growth can look a little something. Let me get my squiggly line here like this. Okay. I wish it looked like this. We're going to change it up here in just a second though. Let me zoom in even more. I want a nice thick line. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. Can sometimes look a little like this. Okay. Like I said, I wish it looked like this, but it doesn't. Okay. We're going to do a couple different points here. Kind of drag it out. Boom. Okay. This is what our revenue can sometimes look like inside of an agency, right? A lot of this, a lot of turbulence, a lot of ups and downs. Okay. And this is what we see with a lot of the clients that we work with. This happened inside of even our own agency for quite a while. What up, Oz? Hope you're doing well, buddy. And like, if this looks familiar to you guys, type a 2 in the chat for me if this looks somewhat familiar, okay? Or if you've gone through phases like this before, right? Where revenue comes up and then all of a sudden we drop a bunch of clients, comes back down, okay? Comes back up and then it comes back down, right? So this is what revenue can look like. Ideally, in the most ideal world, okay, we would want to see something like this, right? Of like whoop, okay, where it's like more linear. Okay. We call this like the hockey stick growth, right? Like this is what everyone wants right here. This isn't realistic either, by the way. So like just a heads up, like if you're wanting this, like don't be wrong. I know some agencies that have done something like this before, but this is definitely also not the growth curve that we often see with agencies. Okay. Here's the growth curve. Oops. What did I just do there? That was crazy. All right, this is the growth curve that we normally see right here. Okay, is something along these lines. Okay, or this is what we want to see. This is like the ideal scenario. Okay, of like we hit like these like little plateaus, and then we grow a little bit more, and sometimes we dip a little bit. That's normal, right? But we're hitting like these regular growths. Okay, maybe we dip a little bit here. Okay, and then we see some more growth, and then we see a little dip here, and then we see some more growth, and then we see another little dip here. Okay, and then we see some more growth. Okay, so this is more of the trajectory that we like to see inside of agency growth, right? And this is what we consider like stacking. Okay, stacking revenue. Okay, so this first one here. Oops. I'm going to use sticky notes because sticky notes are way easier to type on. All right. So this top one here, I'm going to call this agency hell because that's what it is. It's awful. This is the worst place to be right here. Okay. This is unrealistic. And this is ideal. Okay. Ideal. Ideal. Okay. So these are our three phases. This is one is the most ideal. This is where what we want to see, right? And maybe some more planes in here as we're kind of growing, right? Like it's not always like this. Like sometimes we'll see like a little dip here before we come back up. Okay. So like we get some of these like more flat curves in here, but this is ideally what it looks like. Okay. Now on this top side here, like why does this happen exactly? Okay. Why does agency hell happen? Well, a couple different reasons. Okay. Let's segment these a little bit more. Okay. We'll bring these guys down. I hope you guys are cool with me building this live. I'm sorry. I didn't come as prepared as I normally do to this one. So we're just gonna have to ride it out, right? Just ride it out a bit. Okay. Now, guys, this first one here, like, why does this happen exactly? Well, a couple different things, right? One is gonna be churn. Okay. That tends to happen. Let's make this a little bit smaller here. Okay, we'll zoom in here. Okay, so churn, okay, we lose clients and then our revenue dips. That's pretty self explanatory, right? Two, big focus on lead gen, right? Which is great. Like we need to have lead gen. That's how we get these increases once again. Okay. But it's that combination of only focusing on lead gen. So let's put only to preface this here. Okay. And not really focusing on churn and fulfillment, right? And so we kind of go through these phases of like, oh my gosh, like we're churning clients. We need to start lead gen up again, right? And we focus only on lead gen. And then all of a sudden we have a bunch of these clients and we get in this fulfillment rat race of like, oh my gosh, we have so much fulfillment. We need to chill out on lead gen. And then all of a sudden we dip back down, right? And it's like just this agency hamster wheel, this perpetual hamster wheel of let's sign clients to only churn them out. Okay. Now, what we like to see, okay, once again, unrealistic here. Like we don't even have to go into this. Like this just, in my opinion, doesn't happen. Okay. Now, of course, there's anecdotes to this, and it can happen, but I just yeah, it just won't. Okay. Um, now ideal scenario, right? We got some waves here, some nice little waves. What causes this? well, like, why is this different? Because we still see some dips, they're just not as drastic, right? And probably honestly, like if we were to put this on an actual timeline, like if we scope this over, say, like a 2-year window, this would maybe be a realistic timeline. Okay. But why does this happen? Like, what changed here? Well, we got this increase in revenue, right? And then we kind of leveled off here. Why did the level off happen? Well, one, we focused down on fulfillment. Okay. We delivered the result that the clients were looking for. Okay. We understood actually what their needs were, and we fulfilled on those needs and goals. Okay. And we didn't take on more clients than we could serve. Okay. So we balanced fulfillment. We grew, but we grew slower. Okay. And then we had months also for stabilization. Okay. Is that how you spell stabilization? I don't know. Something like that. I don't think so. Stabilization. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Okay. But we have these gaps here, right? These flat planes for more stabilization months, which is what we want. Okay. And instead of seeing these massive dips like we saw up here, because we could only sign so many clients, and notice that they're drastic, right? Like they're drastic increases in revenue, and then they're drastic falls into churn. Okay. Down here in the ideal scenario, right, we kind of have like these little stabilization phases where, hey, for maybe a couple months here, we just didn't grow. Okay. And so maybe this is a 2 to 3 month stint right between here. Okay. Here and here. Let me copy this. I don't know why it does that when I copy and paste that. Sorry. Okay. So maybe this is a 2 to 3 month stint where it's like, hey, we're kind of stabilizing in between this period before we see growth, which is totally okay. And what's happening up here is that we get impatient with our growth. We start to see this dip, and then all of a sudden we turn back on lead gen instead of focusing down on delivering the client results, right? Now, what are some ways that we can mitigate this agency hell? And I'm just going to delete this because it's not really that important anymore. Actually, I'll leave it. I'll leave it for the visual. And how do we get more into here? Okay. How do we get into this ideal scenario? And how do we get out of this agency hell so we're not seeing so many dips and valleys? Well, the first thing to mitigate this, client needs and goals. Okay. Now, this happens on the sales front. Okay. And from the onset of you attracting a client, you need to understand and gain a deep knowledge of the client's business. And it doesn't matter what niche you're in. Okay, you have to understand their needs, their goals, their challenges, and how they specifically define success. Because if you don't understand how they define success, you won't know how to deliver success. Okay. And it's going to allow you to either tailor your services or understand if you should even bring them on as a client. Because if you're unsure of how they would define success or what they actually need, then you can't be working towards their goals and objectives, right? So this is the number one thing that needs to happen is you have to be in full alignment of where they're currently at, the current state that they're in, how long they've been there for, and where they're trying to go. That's really what like a good discovery call boils down to. And understanding their needs and goals is, hey, what pain point are they in? Like what challenges are they facing currently? And where are they trying to go? Once we have a good idea of that, we have a full understanding if our solution will fit into their needs and their goals. And if it doesn't, they should not become a client. But if it does, then perfect. Our solution bridges the gap between where they're currently at and where they're trying to go. Let me know if that's making sense. Okay. So that's the first thing, client needs and client goals. Okay. Two is going to be, well, you got to provide an exceptional client service, right? Exceptional client service. Okay. And this goes beyond just delivering on time your work, whatever the project is. If you're having like a creative service, as an example, like this is more than just delivering on time, right? One, we have to deliver quality, things that will actually deliver the result that they are looking for, right? So it goes back to the client needs and the goals. What we deliver for them has to meet that objective. If it doesn't, we will churn. Okay. And if you're continuing to sign clients and you don't have this figured out yet, of you don't know how to provide an exceptional client service, one, potentially unethical. Like that's just the truth. If you can't win for your clients, you shouldn't be selling them. Okay. Or at least you shouldn't be charging them, right? Until you can deliver that result. What was the second thing? I don't remember. But that's probably the most important thing. Okay. It's probably just a little unethical if you're charging for a service that you don't know how to fulfill yet. Okay. Which might be tough for you to hear. Okay. But also you guys, like, we have to be proactive in our client service as well. Okay. What's the TV quote of like anticipate my needs, right? I can't remember what TV show that's from, but I remember someone saying it. But you have to anticipate their needs as well. Okay, that's part of exceptional client service, right? And I think it's uh uh, it's not JW Marriott. I don't know. I can't remember. One of like the really expensive hotels. Like one of the high end ones. I can't remember what the high end hotel is. But what is it? Someone drop it in the chat for me. What's the high end hotel that I'm thinking of? It's not the Marriott. It's something else. Help me out here. Someone type it in the chat for me. Um, is it the Hilton? No, not the Hilton. Um, I'm completely blanking right now. Anyway, at these high end hotels, they always talk about anticipating needs of the client or of the guest, right? And anticipating those needs of the guest comes down to, hey, did they anything from like, hey, like, hey, I forgot my toothpaste. Awesome. Like, let's go ahead and deliver them some toothpaste. Or, they understand their client exceptionally well. Yeah, like Doubletree, yeah, like Doubletree, exactly. But like if you stay with one of these people enough, right, they start to anticipate your needs of like things that you like, things that you want, right? They make sure that you have the things that you need. Like, hey, like, do you have a bathing suit? Right? Like I've heard stories of really high-end hotels, like, hey, do you have a bathing suit for the pool? Like, no, I didn't. Like, I'm here on business. I didn't bring one. Like, well, you got to check out the pool. We're gonna get a bathing suit delivered to your room for you. Like, okay, sick, right? So we have to anticipate those needs of the client, and obviously, I feel like that was a horrible example, but you guys get what I'm saying. Okay, you got to be proactive, anticipate your client's needs, and exceed their expectations. And one of the biggest things, if you guys want an exceptional client service in anything, under promise, over deliver every single time. Okay. It is the hardest when you're like, yeah, we're going to do this, this, and this. You would much rather under promise what you're going to deliver and then exceptionally exceed what you're going to do. And a good example of this is one of our clients, or I'm sorry, all of our clients, they get sold into a specific package, right? With our consulting. And inside of our consulting, there's a couple different levels, but one of the levels, there are no one-on-one calls. They get access to a community, they get access to group calls, they get access to a private Slack channel, but they do not get one-on-one calls with us. Okay. And that's what a lot of people like, right? Now, when they get inside of the service, guess what they get? One-on-one calls, right? And it's not from a standpoint of like we don't want to give them to them, right? But we have to have the expectation of this is the service, but let's over deliver on it. We're going to go above and beyond, okay? And make sure that they're getting exactly what they need, right? Sometimes it's one-on-one calls, okay? Now, with that being said, there's a fine line here, and sometimes clients can overstep, or even you can be in a position where it's like, hey, like we're just doing too much. So there is a balance there that needs to be had of like, hey, we got to deliver a great client experience and service, but also like we got to hit margins and not overwork the team, and we actually have to be able to deliver for the client at a high level for a consistent period. It can't just be like, hey, like we're only going to do this for a month. We have to do it consistently, right? And then everything from like communication standards, providing high quality work for them, demonstrating value, right? Like those are all things that we need to build into an exceptional client service. So those things are things I feel like you guys already know, but like a lot of it comes down to being proactive, anticipating the needs of the client, and then exceeding their expectations of the service that you guys are delivering, right? So under promise, over deliver on what you can do. Like if you have a guarantee behind your offer, and you know for a fact, like say you're in lead generation, you can produce 20 leads, like no doubt you could produce 20 leads, no problem. Okay. Don't put your guarantee around 20 leads. Put your guarantee around 15. Okay. Guarantee 15, deliver 20. Okay. Because the expectation is set at a lower rate and you can over deliver for them. Okay. What else? Okay. Number 3, regular reporting and reviews. You guys, you got to do great reporting. You got to do great reviews. Okay. And you got to be able to track progress. Okay. So that's really what it comes down to, tracking progress. If the client does not understand the wins and how you guys are winning for their accounts, they will not stay with you. And this is going to, one, keep your client informed on the work that you guys are doing, but also the result that you are delivering to them. And if there's not transparency around that, there's no way that they're going to stay with you. Okay. So you have to, one, be able to track progress. And so if you don't have reporting in place, get reporting in place, which I know seems like so silly, especially if you're running like paid ads, but even on like organic, right? So Oz, you run an organic side of the business, right? Or organic content, organic distribution. There has to be some sort of result there. They have to see some progress. And so we have to report to them on a regular cadence. Okay. Now, what cadence that is, that's up to you, right? I've seen people do weekly, I've seen people do monthly. Okay. For us, like for media buying, like we always report on a monthly basis. Like it just didn't make sense to report on a weekly basis because if we had a down week, which would happen from time to time, but like we'd still have an up month, it's like why cause pain and scarcity inside of the organization or inside of the client's mind that we're having, a bad month, right? Like that's what they think of as like, oh my gosh, like why are results dropping? Okay. Well, let's look at it from a scope of a month. Okay. From there, we can have more testing. We can have a larger scope that we look at. Okay, but we have to track progress. Okay, so that's kind of what it's boiling down to. Okay, so get your reporting cadences locked in. Adjust your strategies if necessary. If you're feeling like things aren't getting out on time, right? Got to put SOPs in place. Like, hey, this is how we do reporting. This is how it happens every time. It needs to be consistent. So many of our clients, and this is the one of the number one things that we see is that reporting goes out irregularly. It has to be on a rhythm. Okay. It goes out on the first of every month. Okay. They get the report from the previous same time. Okay. Should be almost automated, but it needs to go out the same day every single time. Can't miss it because the one time that you do miss it or you're 3, 4 days late on reporting, clients turning their head and they're saying, where's our reports? Paying good money for this service. We better get our reports on time. Okay. So regular cadence on reporting. Okay. Can't say that enough. Okay. Rhythmic, simplicity, and rhythm. You know it's true as that's what it needs. Okay. Business loves it. Okay. If you guys haven't checked out the podcast, Daily Ops Boost, one of my first ones was on simplicity and rhythm. That's what business loves. Okay. All right. Number 4. What's number 4? Relationships. Okay. Guys, it's hard to get rid of you if you guys are homies, right? And here's the thing. We don't build relationships to keep clients. We build strong relationships with clients, so there's trust. Okay. And when there's trust in the process and there's trust in your ability to deliver a result, they're going to stay with you even after a down month. Now, if there's not a relationship, if there's not trust, and you do have a down month, that's an easy place for a client to churn. So you should be building strong relationships with clients, and there's a balance here. Once again, like there's too far one way of like you're getting too close to clients. Like don't be going out and partying with clients, right? Like that's unacceptable. But we do need to build the relationship. We do need to have a strong relationship, support them. One of my favorite things to do with clients, support them on social media, man. Social media is such a tough thing to crack. Um, but if they're paying you money, turn on their post notifications, support them in any way that you possibly can, especially on their organic content, because it is really hard to get traction with organic content, especially in marketing because there's so much noise. So turn on their post notifications, go to their live streams, right? Okay. Watch their podcast, leave them a review, comment on their posts when they post. Guys, that goes a long way in building that client relationship. And if they feel that they're getting supported outside of the normal things, it's only going to solidify that client relationship. And here's the thing, some of my best client relations, the results aren't the best, and they still stay with us because one, they trust us and they believe that we have the best interest in mind. But two, we'll figure it out, right? Like that's the goal. We're pretty bullheaded on just figuring it out. But some of our best client relationships inside of our agency, we didn't always deliver the best results for. And you're gonna have times where results are gonna get tough. And that's where these client relationships come in of like, hey, we trust them, they're gonna figure it out. Because you will figure it out eventually, but you need that time. You need that space, you need that trust that it'll happen. Okay. So relationships, they matter. All right, let's move to number 5 here. Okay. Uh additional value. Okay. Now, what do I mean by additional value? One of our favorite things, we had a an agency, we had a creative arm, we had paid ads, social media management. And if someone was on our paid ads, we would throw in some free creative for 'em all the time. We're shooting it anyway, like whether that's social media or whatever it is, or like if we were running specifically just paid ads and creative, we'd make social media content for them as well. Why? Because we're already there, we're already doing it, we're already thinking about it. We might as well just do a little extra and over deliver. Okay, so this additional value kind of comes back to exceptional client service, right? Like we want to over deliver, but adding this additional value in can really help, right? Let's give them a little bonus, a little extra. Okay. Now, also providing additional value means upskilling your team, meaning if your team does the same thing month after month, they have the same skill level month after month, there's no additional value to provide. So, providing internal continued education for your team, being able to provide a new service, okay, all of a sudden you become more and more indispensable. And so when you guys are stacking additional value, it's kind of a two-way road, right? It's like, hey, like we can always deliver more. Okay, that's additional value. But there's also additional value to be had when your team gets better. And so if you don't have continuing education, if you don't have the ability to upskill your team, you won't provide that additional value. Okay, that's number 5. Moving on, number 6. Zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Number 6, identify early at risk clients. Okay. Let me give you guys an example here of something that will literally save you so much freaking money. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. 3 statuses. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Good. Uh, uh, caution. You can name these whatever you want. Bad. Okay. Pretty simple. Okay. You can call them other things. I've heard people like just do like green, yellow, red status, right? But green status, we're hitting KPIs. We're right in the lane that we need to be. We're crushing it for this client. Results are on point. Relationships on point. Communications on point. Reporting's going out on time. Everything that we pretty much tracked right here, we're dominating it, baby. We're giving the extra value. They love us. We got advocates. Okay. That's green. Yellow, hey, we're not delivering on KPIs. Okay. We're here. We're at like just below it, or maybe we're just hitting KPI, but we're not exceeding. Okay. Because good is exceeding. Okay. A yellow status means like we're doing the bare minimum, right? Like we're there, but we're not doing anything too impressive, right? That would be a yellow status. Or hey, we haven't over delivered for this, or hey, reporting went out a couple days late this week. Okay. Yellow status. Got to be honest about these things, because if you got a client in yellow status, we got to move them back into green, because yellow status can still churn. And then red status, this is like, hey, we're below KPI. These guys are pissed. Chances are they're going to churn. And my buddy Ray Johnston over at Right Digital um, actually did a like internal study, and I can't remember what the number was, but any client that went into red status had like a 70 something percent chance of churning. I think I can't remember what that stat was exactly, but it was astronomically high. Anything that went into red status, it was like, yeah, like they're gonna churn, like no doubt. It's just a matter of time. Okay, so these statuses are really good to go through on a weekly basis. It's so easy to report this internally to the team of like, here's our client list, whoever's managing your clients, right? Here's our client list. Client 1, 2, 3, 4, all good. Client 5, we're in red. Client 6, we're in yellow. We need to work on these. Okay. Just having a system of like just tagging clients as green, yellow, red, super important. And you can do this inside your project management software relatively easily, of just tagging them of like, hey, this is a good one. This is in yellow. This is in red. And then just do a quick review. It can even be in a Slack channel, right? Of like, hey, here's our client statuses for the week. Good, yellow, red. Okay. So little trick there. A little trick there for you. Okay. All right. That's number 6. Okay. So identify early at-risk clients, get them back into KPI quickly. All right, we got one more. Establish. Establish. Clear expectations. All right. I'm going to bold this one, because I think out of this entire list, this is the one that I see skipped over the most. Of we just want clients in and we could deliver the service. Okay. When you sign a client, make sure there's clear communication on a couple different things. One, what they are actually getting from the service, the KPIs that they expect you to hit, and how you guys are going to communicate on a regular basis. Okay. So the scope should be clearly defined. You should have communication, and you should have KPIs ready to roll. And if you establish those clear communications from the get go, you will be in alignment moving forward. Okay. Now, we can also put this inside of things like our contracts and our service agreements. All right. Our TOS, terms of service, right? We need to be able to show them exactly what we are going to deliver. Okay. If there is a misunderstanding, there will be disappointment. Okay. And if expectations aren't met inside of the client's head, even if it's not something that you said you were going to deliver on, if there's a mismanagement of expectations, there's a chance that a client will churn. And so when you get into a new client relationship, the expectations must be clear and must be set. One, on the sales front. So before you even get into an engagement with them, have a clear expectation. This is how it works. This is what you're getting. This is how long it's for. And then once they get onboarded, during onboarding, hey, this is what you get. These are the expectations. This is how long it's for. Okay. We got to double down on the expectation set because I have so many conversations with agency owners that they're like, yeah, this client, oh man, this client really pissed me off. Uh, they're wanting this, this, and this. Well, was the expectation clear? Was it set? Did you talk about it in sales? Did you talk about it in onboarding? Like, well, no. Then how are they gonna know if it's not set? Okay. Set clear expectations, especially at the very beginning of the relationship. Okay. Gotta stay in leadership here. Okay. We talk about on sales a lot of like, hey, you gotta stay in a leadership frame. And if you don't stay in a leadership frame, that will trickle into your fulfillment as well. And so those expectations, the lines, okay, this is where we get things like scope creep sometimes. Like those lines are blurred and the client is willing to overstep them. So be very clear in your contracts, in your agreements, your terms of service, the expectations of what you will deliver for them. Because if it's not clear, you will under deliver for them and they will churn. Okay. And those are the 7 to avoid this agency hell graph here of the dips, the valleys and the peaks, the valleys and the peaks, and to move into a ideal expectation of how your agency should actually grow. You will still have dips. You still will have areas where you guys churn revenue. There's a little law of physics called entropy, and entropy is inescapable. Okay, everything falls apart over time. Okay, every large business that you know of right now, Apple, Amazon, Google, all of those will fail at a certain point in time. Okay, whether it's the earth ending and those businesses do end up dying out because of end of the world scenario, or it will eventually run out its timeline. Okay. Just like life, right? Everything degrades over time. We are here for a finite amount of time. Finite? Yeah, finite. Okay. A defined amount of time. Hopefully that all makes sense. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully that was helpful. Kind of a crude drawing, but this is it. What questions do you guys have? We can go to some questions, comments, concerns, epiphanies, takeaways. Got 7 of you in here today. That's pretty cool. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this is helpful information. If you guys would like to come up here for a minute, I haven't done this in a while, but I'll share the guest link. You guys can come and jam and hang out. Come talk to me for a minute. I'm gonna get some agua. What you guys got? Anything? Always say get questions prepared for the end of the stream so we don't have this weird awkward silence. But it's fine if there's no questions. That might be the other case too, is that you guys just gotta figure it out. I know if I was sitting in your seat, I'd have questions. I have questions all the time. Ozzy, you got questions? He said, who's got questions? You also don't need to force them, okay? You don't have to force questions just because I'm asking. That's it. All right. I'll give it like 10 more seconds. Felix, I love it. Let's go. All right. Let me pull this up. It's a little small on my screen. Okay. Do you use scripts / specific bullet points for building that rapport in the first 1 to 2 meetings with clients? No, I don't. I don't use scripts or bullet points to build rapport. Okay. Um, building trust and rapport. I feel like needs to come naturally. And we need to find certain subjects that we align on in order to build strong rapport inside of a client relationship. So, figuring out what they're passionate about, even outside of the work side, will be important. Okay. And so, like, chances are, like, say they're like kids or something. I'll give you a perfect example. Two of my clients recently had kids. Okay. Very successful agency owners and just had kids, but they're agency owners. So, they're into the the Nike, the Jordans, you know, you know the agency get up, like it's all shit like this. Okay. Um, so I had our team send them a pair of baby Jordans. Okay. They're like, I don't know, $70 or something. But sent some baby Jordans over to them for the kids, for their newborns. And they're a little bit bigger, so like they can actually enjoy them when they're a little bit older. But I thought that was a gesture of like, hey, let's build good rapport, let's build good trust with them. But also, it's like, one, I care, right? Like you actually have to give a shit about the people, right? And like that's what it was. Like I actually care about them, and I was like, this is cool. They would appreciate this. Let's send them something. Okay. We had another client get in a car accident. Fine, by the way. But we sent him a massage gift card to, be like, hey, dude, like that's like, he's like, yeah, dude, he's like, I'm like super sore from it. Like, I'm fine, but I'm sore. Like, okay, cool. Like, let's send him a gift card. So we emailed him a gift card to get a massage. And like where he was from. Okay, so that's building trust. That's building rapport. Like, if you want to do things that show that you actually care about them, care about the things that they care about. One of my biggest pet peeves is like when people sign agencies, they or sign clients to their agencies, they'll send them like a bunch of branded swag, right? Like, here, wear my logo. Put my coffee cup on your desk. You don't have any rapport. You don't have any trust built up with them yet. Why would they support you? Okay, they just paid you a bunch of money, and you're gonna send them a hat with your logo on it. Send them a hat with their logo on it. That's what they're passionate about. Okay. So think about these things. If you guys haven't, I think there's a book called The Art of Gifting or something like that. Great book. If you ever want to like learn how to actually like give to people, give a shit about the things that they give a shit about. Gary Vaynerchuk is another really great example of this. Gary landed one of his like first like seven-figure deals because he sent a signed jersey of a Boston Bruin, I think it was Boston Bruins, a Boston Bruins signed jersey, and Gary hates the Boston Bruins, by the way. He just hates Boston in general. Sends a signed Boston Bruins jersey to that prospect because he knew he liked the Bruins. Signed him just like that. Okay. So it's not about having a script. It's not about forcing rapport. It's about giving a shit about the things that they give a shit about. Right. Hopefully that's helpful, Felix. So yeah, you don't need a script to build that. Gracias. Is scope creep happen a lot in the what in the SMA space more than the creative space? Um yeah, it's hard for it to happen in the creative space because normally there's like a very set deliverable amount in creative, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna produce for you 12 videos and 30 static images, right? It is a flat deliverable. It's like it is set in stone. Like, this is what we're delivering. Now, we always try and over deliver on that, give them a little extra on top of it. But it's really hard to have scope creep in creative. Now, where scope creep comes in SMMA specifically is, hey, I'm running your paid ads for you. You need a new landing page. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, can you build that? And a lot of people are like, yeah, like we need it. So like, we'll build it. Right. That's scope creep. And that's where it happens a lot. Oh, Oz, it's a pain for you. Well, give me an example. Like, where are people going outside scope? Like you should have a very clear set of deliverables of like, hey, I'm gonna produce 30 videos for you over 30 days or whatever it is. It's probably maybe less than that, but it's like, is it happening on the strategy side? Because I could see that as well. Like people are pulling you for strategy. That happens a lot on the consulting side. We get a ton of scope creep. We have buffer for it to over deliver for clients, but anytime you're doing like consulting or strategy, you can see a lot of scope creep there of like, hey, can I just like grab you for like 30 extra minutes? Can we book just a little like an extra call with you? Right. That happens a lot. So if it's happening on the strategy side, I could totally see that happening. So just be very clear on that. And I wouldn't be afraid to say like, hey, like we've provided X amount of strategy, like 3 hours of strategy per month. Just give them the preface of like, hey, if you want more strategy than this is what it costs per hour. Okay, so they want different renditions of the video. Okay, additional consulting. Okay, and then yeah, okay, got it. So they want different hooks. So yeah, I get that. We had that a lot on the creative side, especially for paid ads, right? It's like people want to test different hooks. What I would do is I would start including it in your package, restructure your package, be like, hey, each video, someone that does a really good job of this is Fraggle Productions, Fraser Cottrell from Fraggle Productions. He will include three hooks or three renditions where it has like three hooks, three CTAs inside of the video, right? Automatically. Like that's built into his package. So if they want extra, it is an additional, but they're already getting extra hooks to try. So that could be something that you could change just inside of your packaging of, hey, I'm going to provide less videos. So provide, say, 15 videos, but each video is going to have two hooks. Still 30 videos, but also less work on your side to produce more deliverables. And you can even over deliver on that, give them an extra two videos per month and still deliver more hooks. And you're still doing less work than you are now. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, damn, a lot of messages come through. Okay. What up, Conan? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Just can't get enough, can you? All right. Tyler, people can always tell if you're being disingenuous. Rapport building, 100%. Sending a client your merch is funny. You should show you're grateful for their business and buy something for them. 100%, dude. Yeah, like don't buy them. Don't send them your stuff. You know you've done a good job, and you know people will support you and are an advocate when they ask you, "Hey, when do you have merch? Like, do you have anything I could wear of yours? I would love to get a Hydra hoodie. I would love to get a Hydra hat." Okay, that's when you know that people like your shit, and it's a really good feeling. What are you saying here, Oz? My man's struggling on the keyboard today. Uh, so it could, so could it as count as a second? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Man, you guys, hey, get the Hydra tats, bro. They're right there. Go snag those. Oh, you said Hydra hat. I thought you said the Hydra tat. I didn't read that right. You can get a tattoo if you got people tattooing your business on their body. You know they like what you do. Oz said, like, just do 15 videos, but count the variations as a second video. Yeah. So, let me see if Fraggle has it broken out on their website. Let me see here. So bright and pink. This is a new website. I think they had it on their old one. You know who else might have it? Is Cap. The amount of agencies I know is absurd. Uh, oh, VizCap, get your website faster. All right, let's see if they have it. So basically, what it is, Oz, is it's more modular content, and so what you say is it's total deliverables, right? Why is this not loading? Is it my side or is it them? I don't know. Okay, so this is how it's here. I'll just do this. This is way easier. Let me break it out for you here. Okay. A little creative 101. Shit. Okay. Why can't I move? Goodness. All right, there we go. All right. So this is how it would work, Oz. Let me get a couple squares in here. All right. So this would be video 1. This would be video 2. Video 3. We're just going to do 3. Okay. And then from here, it would break up. Okay. Hook 1. Hook 2. And like providing visuals like this for people, and I'm doing like a really fast one, I would make this look a lot better if I was presenting it to a client, right? CTA 1. And they call this I think it's like iterative content, right? CTA 1, and then oh my gosh, this is running so slow right now. I don't know why. It's like not liking what I'm doing. All right, CTA 1 and CTA 2. Okay, I'm just gonna do one because it's literally taking me forever. Okay. And so the total deliverables on this, mixed and matched, is this is one video. So it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't change this one. So total deliverables on this, because if you mix and match everything, so this would just be like the body of the video. You'd have one hook and then one call to action. You could technically break this into how many variations? What, 4, right? 4 video assets? Or is there more than that? Is there more than 4 ways to split this up? Well, there's 4 total. So what, it would be 8? I'm so bad at math. So they could technically have 8 video assets from this because they could have one hook. No, it's only 4. One hook goes to 2 call to actions, right? Or each hook goes to both call to actions. Yeah, that's 4. Okay. So you could have 4 video assets here. Yeah, okay. You see what I'm getting at, Oz, right? Okay, so you could have 4 video assets here. And it's like you sell on video assets, but the total deliverable amount of like total videos, because you got to think like the concept. So this is how it works. Okay, so the concept changes, right? And that's the hardest part, is when the concept changes. The hooks, the call to actions, those are all easy, right? So you just film extra of those anyway, and then you provide more video assets to them. So total, they're going to get I would recommend selling like, hey, we're gonna send you 30 video assets per month. This is how it breaks out. We do 6 concepts. Each concept. No, that's not right. So let's say 24 video assets. Okay. So 24 video assets, and you could do more than this. Like you could add more call to actions, you could add more hooks, but each concept is going to get you 24 4 assets, right? So you'll have 24 assets in total. You'll be able to test, okay, with different hooks, different variations, but we're going to film 6 unique concepts with 4 variations each. There we go. I don't know why that took me so long to like conceptualize inside my brain. I've been writing content all day. I've been filming shit. I'm running out of juice. The mental power is running low. But that's essentially what you could do on that side, Oz. Okay. And you could say, hey, this is what the video assets are going to look like. You're going to have, three hooks, 3 call to actions per video. So it's going to be four main deliverables. So 4 video concepts, but you're going to get 24 assets out of it. Okay. Sorry. End of day brain. Hopefully that makes sense. What other questions? Those are good questions, guys. Very nicely done. Anything else? Anything else? Give me the thumbs up if you guys are good. Drop a little thumbs up. Drop a 1 if you can't drop a thumbs up. I keep losing my water. Where did it go? I have no clue. 2 thumbs up. Beautiful. All right. Cool, crew. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming. We will be back next week. Wait, I lied. You guys, we will not be back next week because I will be out of town. Okay, I'm going to visit family in Michigan, so no agency therapy next week. So we're gonna push it to the following week. Oz, to answer your question real quick before we hop here, favorite cigar, the Fat Bottom Betty. Okay, if you don't know the Fat Bottom Betty, you should get to know her. It's delicious. Okay, so check it out next time. It's a very dessert-esque type cigar. If you guys are familiar with like the Acid brand of cigars, like a Blondie or a Cuba Cuba, very similar to those. I like a sweeter cigar. Normally, I go get cigars after dinner. I want something that is more of a dessert than something that's more of a what I would consider like more like a coffee type cigar, right? It's like a I don't know. Yeah. So try it out. It's called a Fat Bottom Betty. It's delicious. Awesome, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys. We'll catch you in the next one.